So I finally switched my variable rate mortgage from Desjardins to a 5-year fixed rate mortgage with Nesto. And obviously the main reason is because the Bank of Canada keeps increasing the interest rate, and mainly I don't know for how long they will keep increasing the interest rates. If I stayed with my current mortgage or 5-year variable mortgage with Desjardins, the interest rate was at 5.6%. My monthly payment is $14.66, but that monthly payment is fixed for 5 years. It doesn't change. But what does change is the monthly interest. So as the interest rate goes up, the allocation of the payment changes. When I first started, I think it was paying like $700 interest and then $700 capital. But with the interest rate going up, now it's $13.50 interest, and only the difference, about $100, goes into capital. So that's mainly the reason why I wanted to switch, because I didn't want to just be paying interest, and I didn't want to be paying more interest than my payment was. So at some point, if Bank of Canada continues to increase the interest rate, this interest portion might go up. It might surpass my monthly payment. Although my monthly payment is fixed, it'll never change. But in that case, my mortgage balance at the end of 5 years will be higher than the initial balance. So I might end up after 5 years with a higher balance. And I don't know what that balance will be. It's completely unknown. It all depends what happens with this interest rate. But for comparison purposes, because we don't know the future, we don't know what this rate will be, it's variable. We don't know if Bank of Canada is going to increase the rate slowly, if it's going to decrease at some point. We have no idea. We can only guess and assume. But let's say for comparison purposes, it stays at 5.6 for 5 years. My mortgage balance after 5 years would be about $280,000. So it would only go down about $12,000 from where it is right now. With Nesto, I was able to secure a 4.49 rate for 5 years. That's going to give me a payment of $1,650 per month. And my balance, my mortgage balance at the end of the year, at the end of 5 years, will be $253,852. So let's just say $254,000. So let me put that on the spreadsheet, $254,000. And let's look at the monthly interest. The monthly interest, well, it changes year after year. So let's just take the average. I'm going to add all these up and then just divide by 60. So it's 12,849 plus 12,533 plus 12,202 plus 11,856 plus 11,495 divided by 60 months. So it's an average of 1,015 interest. So let's just say $1,000 of interest monthly, average monthly interest. And yeah, so you can see that about 600, so this is 1650, sorry. So you can see about $600 of my monthly payment will go into capital, as over here, only $100 goes into capital. But of course, we don't know what the true calculation is here, because we don't know what this final rate will be. We don't know if it'll go up. We don't know if it'll drop either. So that's the problem with this scenario, is that it's completely unknown. There's a lot of uncertainty. And this should not be 409, and this should be 4.49. But at least the final mortgage balance would be $254,000, so lower than the $280,000 in this scenario, lower by about $26,000. Now, the problem with this scenario, though, is I should probably add $5,000 of penalty back to this balance, because I do end up paying $5,000 to break this mortgage and switching to a different bank. So I'm going to add $5,000 to the final mortgage balance, so making it $259,000. Now, I did have another opportunity, is to stay with the same bank as what I currently had, but take a 5-year fix. Now, their rate was 5.5%. That would give me a payment of $1,816. The mortgage balance at the end of 5 years would be $258,000, and the monthly interest that I'd be paying, or the average monthly interest I'd be paying under this scenario, is, I'm going to take the average of these 5 years. So 15,729 plus 15,390 plus 15,032 plus 14,654 plus 14,255. divided by 60. So it's an average of $12.50 interest per month. So you can see comparing switching to Nesto or staying with Desjardins and taking a 5-year fixed. Yes, I am paying an extra $5,000 of penalty with Nesto, but the mortgage balance at the end of the 5 years is the same. Now this is accurate because this is fixed, so we can calculate this. You can see that I'm paying an extra $200 a month almost in a monthly payment, and it's mostly interest, $250 of interest per month. So at least in this scenario, yes, I'm gonna end up with the same mortgage balance at the end of 5 years, but I'm also saving about $200 a month that I'm not paying. So yes, I am paying $5,000, but it's the same balance at the end, and I'm saving $200. So compare this versus this scenario. So switching to Nesto or staying with Desjardins with a 5-year fixed. Switching to Nesto was a better option because this we can calculate. The only thing we can calculate is if I didn't do anything and if I just stayed with my 5-year variable with Desjardins, because we don't know what this rate will be. It could go up. If it goes up, then this is definitely a better decision. If it goes down, then this was a bad decision. But this uncertainty is what I'm paying for basically. And so I'm paying an extra about $200 a month by switching from 5-year Desjardins, 5-year variable Desjardins to 5-year fixed with Nesto, because of the uncertainty of I don't know what's going to happen. But one thing's for sure is the next year this rate is remaining the same. What happens after 1 year, either it goes higher or they start to lower it. But even if they lower it, they're not going to lower it in big chunks. They're going to lower it gradually. Honestly, I don't know, and once again, it's because of that uncertainty that I'm willing to pay that extra $200 at least for 5 years. And within those 5 years, my plan is to try and finish this mortgage balance. I'm allowed to pay an extra 20% every year without a penalty. So that's exactly 20% times 5 years is 100%. So I'm allowed to pay the full mortgage balance in the remaining in the following 5 years. But now the problem is I have to be able to find this amount in 5 years. So how much is that? So let's say 260,000 divided by 60 months. So it's about 4,000. I need an extra $4,000 a month for the next 5 years to be able to pay down the mortgage and never have to deal with the Bank of Canada interest rates and the government of Canada fighting inflation and all that nonsense. I mean, when your ability to make your mortgage payment is in the hands of one of these 3 people, I'm not sure who it is exactly, but it's one of these 3 people, I don't feel comfortable leaving it in their hands after what I've seen. So that's mainly the reason why I decided to switch. Now let me tell you a bit about my experience with Nesto. It wasn't so bad. Obviously they have the best rates I've seen online. The only thing I didn't like with Nesto is that it wasn't easy getting approved. It was a lot of paperwork, a lot of back and forth, way more than Desjardins. Desjardins was such an easy process to get approved. I didn't even feel it. I did have a broker between me and Desjardins, so maybe that's why. But it was such an easy process as well. With Desjardins, I had a home equity line of credit. So even though every time I paid down my mortgage, I had access to that equity right away. Obviously with interest, but I had access to it. And paying down the mortgage early as well was very easy. Nothing was complicated. They don't have the best rates, but the customer service is pretty good with Desjardins. I also got a $1,000 cash back with Desjardins when I got the mortgage, but sadly they took it back from me when I switched mortgages. Alright, just wanted to share with you my mortgage experience. If you have any questions, leave in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.